Greetings! Today we're going to learn how to pack a bike for airline shipping. For those of you who are fortunate enough to be traveling with me, you will be unpacking your bike in Norway. We will need a bike, a box from the bike shop, such as the bike was packed in when it was originally sent to the bike shop, the plastic fittings that came with the box to pack the bike, a handful of zip ties, a hex key set, a pedal wrench, one that fits your pedals, some packing tape, and optionally an engraving tool or spring-loaded center punch. Now, since my bike is fitted to me, I want it to fit me when I get it out of the box. So I'm going to take my engraving tool and I'm going to put a mark on the seat post where it meets the frame so I know exactly where to put it back when I get it out of the box. You can also use a spring-loaded center punch and just put a little ping mark there on your seat post so you know exactly where to put your seat back to. Now we're going to remove the pedals. Please note that the left pedal has a left-hand thread on it, which means to remove it, you turn it clockwise, like this. Now that we have our pedals out, we want to put them in our bike bag so we don't lose them. Don't put anything loose in your bike box. Now we're going to remove the handlebars. I removed the plug over the bolt here. We're going to loosen this bolt. Do not remove it. We're just going to loosen it about 2 turns. And then, in order to loosen the swage nut inside, we're going to give this wrench a little tap. Handlebars are now loose, and our cables should give us just enough room to get that out. Now this is foam pipe insulation. Good stuff. You get it at your local hardware store. What we're going to do with this is use it to protect our cables and frame where we're going to be lashing things together here. We want to be very careful around our cables, not to kink them or damage them in any way. Piece of insulation there, piece of insulation here. Next, I'm going to use the hex key to remove the seat with the seat post that we marked earlier. I've removed the front wheel from the bike already, and I've completely removed the skewer from the front wheel and put the nut back on. We're going to put the skewer in a plastic bag, and we're going to put that in our little bike bag or tape it to the frame. It would be real embarrassing if you arrive at your destination and you don't have the skewer to put your front wheel back on. Now we get into our fittings that came with the bike box from the bike shop. The first one is this little stick one here. This goes in the front fork and just kind of snaps in like that without damaging the front fork. Next we have a few of these, a couple of these. One in the handlebar post and one in the seat post. The next fitting is one that helps protect our derailleur. It just mounts on the rear axle like that and keeps anything from coming in contact with the rear derailleur here. Notice that I put my gear on the second of the largest chain ring. That keeps the derailleur from being out here where it's not going to get protected by this guy here. Now the front wheel has a couple of special fittings of its very own. They just go in like this on both sides. Now we're ready to box the bike. Seat is going to go right down inside on the side where the rear wheel is going to go. And this is the part that requires a little bit of artistic license. We put the bike down in, straighten up the fork to make sure that it's square to the box. Front wheel with our fittings that are going to run up against the side of the box. And again, maybe a little bit of creativity to get your handlebars and the front wheel in with no problems. Now again, zip ties are your best friends. We're just going to go through here and put a few strategically placed zip ties just to secure everything in place so it doesn't rattle around. And we're taking a look at the cables to make sure they're not getting kinked. Make sure our front wheel isn't crashing up against anything to bend the spokes. And we're just going to kind of go wild with the zip ties. Can't have too many zip ties. Now that we have the bike in, don't forget our bike bag, which contains our pedals and our skewer. We're going to zip tie that down. Also, our pedal wrench. Everything it took to put this bike into the box, we're going to need it to put it back together and to repack it when we come home. We can zip tie our helmet inside. And when we're done with the zip ties, we zip tie the zip ties in here, because we're going to need them when we get where we're going. Now we're ready to tape it up. Now keep in mind that when we tape this up, that our friends at the Transportation Safety Administration are most likely going to open this box up and take a look inside if you're traveling by air. So there's no need to go completely wild taping it up. So we're going to do a good job just to show our friends at the TSA that we care about our bike. Don't forget your address label. Now we're ready to take to the airways. A few common sense things to remember. Check with your individual airline to see what their policy is on shipping bikes. Every airline is different, and if you're mixing and matching airlines in the course of your travel, you will need to check with each one and also see who the dominant policy is if there's more than one airline involved. Also, don't wait till the night before you're leaving on a big trip to start packing your bike. Practice beforehand. Make sure the box fits the bike and everything goes in properly and you know how to pack it and unpack it. So good luck on your adventure. Happy pedaling.